Hey there, it's Brittany and I'm back with a tutorial video. We're going to make a necklace today using, and I know you guys are going to be excited about this, these amethyst points from Vinswet Stone Store. I haven't really decided what I want to do yet, but I'm thinking maybe using some of these shell beads and also using, and I'm thinking maybe also using some of these what are they? They're like the blue tiger eye beads. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. Okay, so I like that color palette, but I also thought, we also have these shell beads. So we're gonna do something with these colors today. Don't know what it's gonna be yet. I know I really wanted to wire wrap some of these, so I'm just gonna cut it apart. So pretty. I don't really want to cut it apart, but I'm going to cut it apart. So I'm just going to cut it at the end. And this one is a graduated set, so it goes from small to large. I am going to grab these two right here. Actually, okay, yeah, those are cute. Those are cute. I'm thinking. Nope, don't like that. We could do something like that. That would be pretty similar to the Mystic Crystal necklace. Let me try something. I've had this in my mind since I got these beads. There are a couple ways I wanted to use these amethyst beads. And Cheryl, one of my subscribers, said she really liked these. Can't remember if she told me she ordered them, but yeah, I'm with you, Cheryl. These are gorgeous. Let's see here. I'm gonna take I have some 20 gauge artistic wire. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm thinking, okay, bear with me. I've got an idea. I don't know if it'll work. All right, so I want to kind of wire wrap all three of these together. The problem is, actually, I don't have a problem. Let me straighten this out and get my nylon jaws, straighten out the wire that I just kinked up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put the wire through all three. And then I am going to move it down a little bit, and then I'm going to wrap it around all three several times, as tight as possible. And it's not going to be pretty. I'm really just trying to get them to stick together at this point. And I did not cut enough, but it'll look better. I promise you, it's not going to look ugly like this for long. This is just kind of to get them all together. Now, if I really wanted to, I could epoxy these together or use some E6000. All right, they're together. They're not pretty. That's okay. So the ends of my wire are both in the back. I'm looking for my snips. Here they are. My good snips. I don't like those pink ones. I'm going to snip this one right here. And that one's good where it is. Okay. So we have them together using 20 gauge wire. That's not exactly how I wanted them to be. And okay, so they're stuck together. Bear with me, guys. We'll get, ooh, that's sharp. Whew. I just got stuck by it. We'll get to where I'm seeing. I'm gonna try and find some thinner wire. All right, so I have 26, and these are all on clearance. 28 and 24 gauge wire. I think I'm gonna go with the 24 gauge wire. I wish I had teeny tiny shells. I know I have teeny tiny pearls somewhere. Couldn't tell you where they are. Let me see if I can find some baby pearls. Okay, so I found these little baby pearls from my 20-pound gemstone haul. This is exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to dump out a couple of those, or a few of those, all of them, whatever. And I'm going to grab some wire, a very long piece of wire, and I do mean like 5 or 6 feet at least. Okay, probably longer than that. I'm going to feed on a bunch of these pearls. You might want to put a stopper at the end. However, this is like super, super long, so it's going to take a while for the pearls to get down there. And I'm just going to load on a bunch. I don't know how many I'll need, maybe 10. Probably, you know what? I probably won't use 10, but I'm going to put 10 on. I have 5 on there so far. I'm going to create a kink in the wire so they can't get past it. Okay. So I'm going to move those down my wire. They'll be back in a minute. I'm going to find the back again, so it's a hot mess, right? I'm just going to hold the wire in the middle of the stones, and I'm going to start wrapping as tightly as possible. Because I want these to, I just want it to be a big, nice wrap. Cover up those other wires, the thicker 20 gauge wire. Here are my pearls, and I don't think I cut enough of this wire, but that's okay because I can wrap more later. And once I get to where I'm feeling like it's getting the coverage I need, of course I should be looking at the front. Still going to keep going. I might need to cut more wire because it's not as covered as I want it to be in the middle. Okay, so I'll pull those off. No biggie. I'm going to move. Well, that didn't come back as far as I wanted it to around the front, so I'm just going to come to the back, cut this off, snip this off, and push it under one of these wires. Oops. Well, that's okay. I'll just leave it like that for now, and I'm going to get more wire. Pulling off probably 10 feet. Don't know if I'm going to use that much, but it's okay. I don't need to use all of it if I don't have to. I'm not going to feed on the pearls yet. I'm going to hold down the part where our wire ended and go around. Okay. Kind of cross over where those two wires started. I'm going to trim those later because they're going to be sharp and sticky outy. But we'll worry about the back later. Okay, so right now I want to make the front. I want to fill in the front and get it how I want it. Okay, so it's starting to be a little bit more filled in. And honestly, if you don't want this much wire, that's totally cool too. Okay, so it's a little bit more filled in. I'm going to thread my pearls on the other end of the wire. So set that off to the side, grab my 10 pearls, load them on. Okay, so we'll come back to our focal. Smooth my, or move my pearls up a little bit closer to where we're wrapping. Trying not to hit Goldie with my wire. Okay, so trying to see. Okay, there's the back, here's the front. I'm going to take one of my pearls, put it in place. Sorry, I didn't realize my camera went wonky. There we go. Move it in place. I'm just going to hold it in place with my thumb, and then I'm going to wrap. And then I'm going to wrap 2 times for that one. Move a pearl into place wherever you want it. It doesn't have to be right next to it. It doesn't have to be below it. It could be anywhere on the pendant. I want it kind of like right there. Hold it with your thumb. Wrap. Okay, I'm going to move the next pearl up. Just going kind of random with them. Okay. Next pearl. Okay. I don't know that I'm going to get 10 pearls on the front of this, but I'm kind of just going with it. That guy there. Oh, that one's moving around. That'll kind of be cool if you are kind of the person who plays with their jewelry like I do throughout the day. Having beads that move around but aren't going to come off is kind of fun. I do tend to play with my jewelry quite a bit. I'm a fidgeter. I will tap my feet and it's annoying. Yeah, people like me annoy me, so I get it. If you're not a fidgeter, that's cool. You'll just have a really cool piece of jewelry. All right, I want this guy right there. Okay. Yeah, see how those move around? That's kind of neat. All right, I think that's enough for the pearls. I'm going to slide the rest off. And then I'm just going to wire wrap a little bit more to make sure that those are in place and not going anywhere. So you can either do it like this, which then you would create a loop here and make that a pendant going this way, but I like it this way. And now it is kind of lopsided because it didn't do an even, like there's all this point over here with no gold over here. So it kind of doesn't make sense to do it sideways unless I just did more wraps, but I don't have enough wire to do more wraps like that. I could cut more wire, but I don't want to cut more wire. So just thinking maybe we will do it like this. No, we're going to do it like this. Okay, so we're going to find that guy. I'm going to try and tuck it in as much as possible. Didn't really work so well with the previous one. You always I'm just going to try and curl it. That didn't work. Okay, so I was able to tuck that guy under there, and that's perfect. Okay, I'm loving this. Just seeing if it would be able to scooch down any of the wire, but I don't think so. Okay, I'm loving this pendant. All right, so now we have to figure out how to get a loop up here. We can do a bail. Okay, to create a bail, I cut a length of the 20 gauge wire, and this one's about 2 feet, give or take a couple inches. I'm going to double it, or at least find the center by obviously lining up the ends. And in the middle, I'm going to take my my bail making pliers by Beaded. Beadsmith has some, a couple of different people have them. And I'm going to make a loop in the middle, okay? So I'm going to grab, so after I make that loop, I'm gonna grab my wire and I'm gonna wrap one end around the wire just a couple times to get it going. Okay, so there we go. We have a beautiful loop. And then I'm gonna pull these down so that they're together, okay? I'm gonna grab my piece, stick my loop behind the piece. So pretty. And then I'm gonna make sure that these are a little bit closer to each other. There we go. Put my loop behind the piece. We can always reposition if the loop we want it facing this way or not. We'll go ahead and wrap these up so they're not in the way of a pearl. Make sure that this is kind of sticking, the neck of your loop is sticking up. Wrap this, make sure it doesn't, block a pearl. And then we're gonna wrap a couple times as tight as possible around the neck of that loop. Maybe some wire wrappers are like, oh my God, this girl's crazy. This is not how you do it. This is how I'm doing it. Okay, actually, that's good enough. It was gonna get a little crazy if I did it anymore. And then I'm gonna tuck that in the back. And I'm going to trim, and there we have a pendant, and you can kind of tuck those in by doing that. Oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful pendant. I love it. Okay, so there's our focal. These stones are so beautiful. All right, and it's more, okay, I don't think I'm gonna use the teal with this. I'm certainly going to use the shell. So I have these 8mm shells that go really well with those pearls and the, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so pretty. Okay, so we're gonna do like a beaded chain, but I'm going to include some regular chain too, to make it a little bit more delicate. So you can use wire, which I might use some of this wire to get, use it up. And some eye pins to make my beaded chain. Let me grab some actual chain. I'll be back. Okay, so I grabbed these amethysts that Janie sent me, and of course the 8mm shells from Vinswet. So I'm gonna cut these open. I might be able to fit in some of these pearls, but I'm also gonna grab my smallest pair of looper pliers. So this is the 1.5mm. And I'm gonna stick that in there. Create a loop. Okay. That one's not very closed, but it doesn't matter. And then I'm gonna make some smaller links for our beaded chain. And of course, if you don't have a looper tool, you can just do this with your round nose pliers. doing it this way because I'm about to make a lot of these. And it's gonna, I have carpal tunnel, and the most help I can get, the better. The more help I can get, I should say, the better, because I just end up in pain. And we don't want me in pain. At least I don't want me in pain. So I'll go ahead and I'm just gonna do a bunch of these and the amethyst, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's super annoying making a lot of these because they're tiny, and it's just different making using the looper with wire instead of head pins or eye pins. But I made a few, and then if I need more, I'll go ahead and make it. I'm using some really old pliers. These are like the most generic you can find. They think they used to be purple. Now they're like a muddy brown. They have rust on them. Only reason I'm using them is because they have a smaller nose than these pliers, and I really wanted the smaller loops. So I'm just gonna go ahead and close these up, and then I'm gonna figure out my pattern. Those are closed. Some of these are open. I'll figure out my pattern, and then we're gonna choose how we're going to lay out the rest of this necklace. I'm loving these tiny amethysts. All right, so as we go, I'll end up finishing these off. They're not perfect, but they're so cute. And this necklace is for me. So, okay, what I've decided, instead of stringing a necklace, I'm going to use this and attach beads going up. I think I might do purple. Or do I want to start with some pearls? I think I'll do a couple pearls. Oh, sorry. Really quickly, going up the necklace, just to get it started, because I don't want those chunky beads right next to these chunky, and they're not even that chunky. They're 8mm, but they're chunkier than that I want on this necklace. If you guys are interested in knowing more about one-step loopers, I do have a video. I'll link it below. They are a time saver, but sometimes they can be a little annoying if they're this tiny size. Okay, this guy. And if you have small hands, the one-step looper might not be for you, because it does require a wider grip. Okay. And if you'd like, you can wire wrap these, be way more secure. I do not have the patience for that. I really don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my look with this. I had two similar pearls. One, they taper, and I want the fat end towards the pendant, going up to the skinny end. Okay. So we've got that one on there. And we'll do the exact same thing with the other pearl. And then I think I wish I had even more delicate chain, but I looked in my chain bag. I'm severely lacking in the chain department. I used to have a ton of it, and I've just used it up without replenishing it. So really wanted delicate gold chain, but The chain that I have that's smaller is that ugly macaroni and cheese color chain. So I don't think that'll work, but let me see if I have anything remotely smaller in here that's not a crazy macaroni and cheese color. I think the only thing I have is a tiny piece, and I don't think it'll work for this entire. Yeah, I have one necklace and it's probably like 14 inches long. This is what I want. And you know what? We're gonna make it work. I'm gonna Tim gun it and make it work. So I moved the camera again, guys. Sorry. So this has a extender on it. I'm gonna cut that off. And then this side has a clasp on it. I'm going to cut that off. You can use your pliers to take it off, but the jump ring I don't need to reuse. Okay. So I have this much chain to do what I want, which is not a lot. So let's see. I don't have my ruler, but I want about that much. Between my beads for the pearls in the next bead. This is a great way to cut a piece of chain in half. Oops, I lost it. Okay. So you put both pieces on. So you measured out 2 inches of chain. Instead of measuring 2 1-inch pieces, just put both ends on your wire and then snip down the middle. So this guy's the middle. Gonna snip right there. I know you're thinking, oh, she's wasting links in that chain. Guess what? It's going to be a pain in my, you know what, if I try and get those apart with pliers, and it's just not going to be worth the time. Okay. Okay, so next I'm going to use an amethyst. I know I don't use tiny beads, but right now I'm wishing I had some 4mm shells. That's okay, we'll use our bigger ones. Okay, and then do another amethyst on the other side. Okay, so our chain is starting. Sorry, the background's so crazy. All right, next I'm going to do a bit of chain. And it doesn't matter to me if they're even from the same measurement as the last one. As long as these two measure the same, the necklace will be symmetrical. So I'll put it on my chain, or I'm sorry, my wire. Snip it in half. Oh goodness. Okay, didn't want to go on my wire there. Okay, I am going to keep going up the necklace and I will be back. Okay, so I've finished beading my chain, and it's actually like a really perfect length. It's probably about 20 inches long. I'm just gonna finish the back. For some reason, I always put the clasp on the right hand side. It's probably because I'm right-handed. I'm gonna take a couple tiny jump rings, one for each side. And I'm just going to use that clasp that I took off of that chain right here because it's tiny. It's a little bit more delicate than some of the toggles that I have. And I'll go ahead and put that on the right side of the necklace. And I have some heavier duty, larger gauge and larger size. Sorry, really wanted that to be in camera. Larger size jump rings, but they won't fit through that delicate chain. So what I'm going to do is grab one of these smaller jump rings. Sorry, I really need to cut my nails. They're driving me crazy. There is not enough time in the day, guys, for everything. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my jump ring on one of those, or my larger jump ring on one of the smaller jump rings, and then the end of my chain. And we'll go ahead and twist that closed. Never pull or push open the jump ring. Finish this off. And there we have a very unique, one-of-a-kind gemstone necklace with tiny freshwater pearls, these amazing dagger stick things in amethyst from Vinswet, and these beautiful 8mm shell beads from Vinswet. And I will be including links to all of the shells and the amethyst, and then these beautiful smaller rounds from my friend Janie. So anyway, thank you for watching. This is a necklace I hadn't tried before, but I knew when I saw these sticks that I wanted 3 stacked on each other. So I'm just so happy with how that turned out. I encourage you to try wire wrapping. It can be messy and it can still be beautiful. Yeah, the back's a little iffy, but nothing's poking out. This guy's curled under, and it's breathtaking. It's such a good focal piece with such a delicate, dainty chain to go with it. And then what I can do here is just add this guy on as an extender. This was on the original chain. And if you're not used to making extenders, all you need is a little bit larger chain and put a bead on the end. Oopsie. Opened it upside down. Okay, put that on our larger jump ring. Close up our chain link. Sorry, the camera likes focusing on the background. And there we go. So I'll include some more pictures with all this other debris in the background, but tell me what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Check out Vinswet. I'll leave you the links below, and stay tuned for your favorite doggy Goldie. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Hi, cutie. Hi. Goldie. Hi.